child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright.
Hello. It's actually a pretty beautiful day outside today. We've been kind of having this weather that's been quite literally hot and cold, where we'll have a day in like the low 90s and the next day will be in the 70s. I very much prefer the days in the 70s. Yesterday was in the 90s, but today is 70s, and the sun is kind of peeking in and out of the clouds. I've been thinking to myself a lot lately that I can't wait for fall to come, because I have such a hard time focusing and getting things done in the heat. Like, it's crazy how different my mental capacity and my activity level was today as compared to yesterday when it was 90 degrees. But anyway, I'm gonna go inside. It's a little too windy for this, I think. Anyway, I definitely will prefer fall to summer. But honestly, lately I've also been thinking that I might enjoy, like, the beginning of winter at least just as much. Because once the ground freezes, that means that all the construction workers and all of the farmers and all of the summer activity people will all be home. Probably no one will want to go outside. And so when that happens, then I can have all of this way more to myself. But I definitely am ready for this summer to be over. I cannot stand the heat. I think it's actually gotten a lot warmer since before I went on my bike ride. I'm kind of sweating now and losing my motivation, so I definitely am not a warm weather summer person. I like between 55 and 75. That's my sweet spot. I don't like these days in the 80s and the 90s. But anyway, there's that. I'm gonna go do some more sewing. Our wood pile, because we mentioned in an earlier vlog that I've really talked about this before, so I figured I'd talk about it now while I'm in the moment of it. But one of the reasons why it's just really hard for me to get things done when it comes to sewing or crafting or doing anything that I haven't really done very much in this house yet. One of the reasons it's so hard is because of things like this, where I don't know how many of you know much about sewing. So this is a bobbin, and I only have one of these. So every time I want to switch colors of my thread, I have to unwind the bobbin and then wind it again with a new thread. If there's very much left on the bobbin, I can't rewind this onto it, so I will have to throw it away. And so with the sewing that I've been doing the last month or so, I've had to time it so that I run out of one color just in time for me to be ready to use the next color. And I've been juggling it like that, and it's been a real pain in the ass. So I finally ordered a pack of empty bobbins so that I can just have a bobbin for each color that I use. And so I went looking for the bobbins and I've been looking for probably about 20 minutes or more now. I've looked everywhere that I could think that they could possibly have ended up, and I can't find them anywhere. And let me show you why. But despite all of the unpacking that I've been doing, this is the third bedroom in the house, and this is all of the things that I haven't been able to unpack yet because we just simply do not have the storage space for these. There's literally nowhere else for these to go but inside boxes or on the floor. And most of the things in these boxes, or at least half of the things in these boxes, are my sewing and crafting materials. I don't remember what I did with those bobbins, and so I've looked through every single thing that I possibly could have put it in through all of this, and it is absolutely nowhere to be found. And if I just had enough storage space, you know, enough shelving, enough drawers, enough closet space, whatever, then I would just be able to have the desire to sew and just go and do it. And it's still hard as it is to sew because there's not a lot of space in there. I don't really have tables that are good for sewing. I can make do with that just fine, but when I'm just constantly spending so much time looking for just the simplest little things and just never finding it, it just makes it so hard for me to want to come back to it, because it's like, well, I'm already exhausted right now and I don't think I'm going to be able to do any more sewing after looking this long and after getting discouraged and after not knowing where else to even start looking. But now, if I get the inspiration to start sewing again, I can't just start sewing. I'm going to have to look for it over and over and over again until I can find it. And this is how it is for every new thing that I do, and it just makes me so aggravated that this is how it always ends every time I try to do a new thing. And all of the things that I like to do are new things right now, and so it just always ends with me being discouraged and not having a way to continue on with it. It just makes me so tired and discouraged and
It's 6 a.m. right now and the sun is rising outside. It's very calm and quiet out there, and it's actually chilly enough right now that I wanted to wear a blanket, which is just great. I love when it's cold enough in the mornings and the nights for me to want to get a blanket and get all warm and cozy, but it just makes me that much more sad for the rest of today because it's gonna get up to like 89 degrees and then tomorrow's gonna get up to 94, and I'm just like trying to hold on to this cool temperature as long as I can. Like, please don't go, please don't leave me. 1 month more and then we can have cool weather every day. And then this weekend it's going to be in the low 70s for the high, and then I will run around and enjoy the weather.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, 'Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up 'cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
There's a bunch of shit that you left behind, and you know, I've dug this hole, as you can see, which is actually pretty deep, surprisingly, and I can't get this fucking thing out, covered under gravel, as if no one would notice. You buried concrete in the backyard and fucking metal rods in our driveway. There's even like wood blocks or logs that they also buried in the driveway. And as someone who spent a lot of time getting this house, I don't really appreciate it because I can't hold this out anymore. I've dug a whole shit ton. We think it just keeps going. I'm gonna just do what these guys couldn't even bother to, and just wind this up and put it in the ground and then bury it relatively deep. You could just kind of, you know, run it around as such. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on in. Gotta step on it. Deal with that more later, but
I also buried this huge log in the driveway, but only half buried it, and it doesn't seem to have an end either. So
I think a tree used to sit here.
yeah,
Yep.
left bits of it just in the driveway.
Well, guess we're not moving it.
Guess not.
Maybe at one point we could just light it on fire
Yeah, maybe.
and just burn it.
I keep on having a lot of days where I feel just kind of down and depressed and stressed. And I've been working a lot on picking apart my thoughts and getting rid of any thought patterns that aren't really doing me any good. And so I'm trying to figure out, you know, what's the cause of me feeling these ways. And then when I figure that out, I'm trying to accept those problems, accept my reactions to them, and then move past them. But I've been really having a hard time, you know, letting it go and moving past them and being happy and content, because in my mind it seems like if I do that, it means that I'm being lazy and selfish, which seems really weird for that to be, you know, something that's correlated with all of that. But part of me feels like if I'm at peace with what's going on and where I'm at with life, then that's saying that I'm okay with it, that nothing needs to change, that I feel like I don't need to change, which makes me feel like I'm being, you know, selfish and lazy, because there are still a lot of points that I need to get to in life. And so somehow my mind went through all those different avenues and now equates me being happy and at peace with where I am in life with saying that I'm not going to make progress and that there's nothing wrong. So anyway, yeah, that's just something that I realized, and
I think that's a really good thing that I realized that, because now I can actually get to the root of the problem and figure this out, because being miserable or being sad or depressed isn't going to make me get more progress in life. Being happy and at peace isn't gonna stop me from making progress. I need to be able to feel happy and at peace, and I should be able to feel happy and at peace. I'm in a much better place in my life. I am happy with a lot of what I have now. It's just crazy what my brain can come up with and compare with. And I hope if any of you have been having similar problems, maybe this helps you get to understand your brain better as well, and maybe help you be happier as well.
And I think to myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. All the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make